Okay, here's a quick run through on the real basics of this one here. We have an equation. The equation counts the number of lines and it relies on the amount of time. So if you imagine a wildlife park and there are some lions in it, maybe there's 100 lions in it. Those lions get up to mischief over the year, so the next year you might get more lions. And then the following year, if those lions continue to breed, you get even more lions. So the number of lions isn't the same every year, it changes. Likewise, you've got things like disease or predators that might also affect the number of lions. So the number of lions changes one year to the next one after that. This here is the equation that describes how those lions change. So this equation here describes the change. How does it describe it? Well, if you wanted to know how many lions were in the park after, let's say, 3 years, the formula says the number of lions is equal to 20 times 10 to the power of 0.1 times t. T is the number of years. If I want to know how many lions there are after 3 years, then instead of writing t, I write a 3. Once I've got this, all I need to do is open up my CAS calculator and type that in. When I press enter, it's going to give me a number, and that number will be the number of lions. So here we go. I'm going to open up the CAS calculator. And I'm going to look at the number of lions. This first part of the assignment, show all working, find the number of lions when counting first began. When the counting first began, how many years have gone by? Has 1 year gone by when you first start? Has 10 years gone by? Well, usually when you very first begin something, it means that no time has gone by at all yet. So that would be a t-value of 0. To find the number of cheetahs when counting first began, I don't want to use the lion formula. This tells me how many lions there are. I want to use the cheetahs formula. Alright, well, let's have a look at the CAS calculator, how we use that. I go to my home page. I open up a calculator page, and in my calculator page I type in 20, I hit my times 10 to the power of 0.1 times, and the t-value that I wanted. The t-value I wanted, I talked about before, was after 3 years, so I put times 3. To get my answer, bingo. This was the formula for the number of lions in the park after the certain number of years. I've just figured out that after 3 years there should be, round that off, 40 lions. So if I go back to here, this is the kind of answer that I should be having in here. I've just figured out the number of years, the number of lions after 3 years. So what you have to do to fill out this table is go back to this formula, type it into your calculator with a t-value of 0 and see what the answer is. I go up here, it's exactly the same formula. The only thing that changes is that this bit up here, instead of having a 3, because there were 3 years, would have to have a 0. And when I press enter, that's going to give me the answer for that bit. When I want to figure out that one, the number of years is 1. So I've got to have 0.1 times 1. I'm going to change this to a 1, and I'm going to press enter. Each time I do that, It's telling me the number of lions that will be there after that many years have gone by. That's pretty much all there is to the part that you have to do for draft 1. Hope that helps. Otherwise, send me a specific question about what it is that you need more help with.